It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. Took a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness. And I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. Mm-hmm. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Level 3 has begun. Our boy Mo Khan will step up and in a couple of minutes. We're throwing it down on Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio, and television networks. So it's sort of the calm before the storm right now. It is what it is. Sort of prepares us for the summer months, but not really. Whenever I see somebody say there's not a lot going on in the sports world, I'm thinking, well, you're not a big sports fan, are you then? You're just as fan of the big four, right? Because there's always, like they say, there's always happy hours somewhere. But college baseball has filled a nice void this weekend. And then today as well, there'll be a couple of days off of college baseball. It'll be Major League Baseball. But there's a ton of soccer coming up as well that we haven't gotten to, that we will. The Copa America starts like soon, in a couple of weeks. We're a couple of weeks away from the Copa America in the U.S., which is going to be lit, right? So that's going to be awesome. We also, and in fact, before the Copa starts, because we're more focused on the Copa, because Canada and the U.S. are in it, Canada open up June 20th against Argentina, man. There's some big-time stuff. So, and Messi and company, Suarez and company. You got the Copa, you got the Euro is starting like next week too. I think it's the 14th, the Euro. So like the Euro starts next week. The Copa America starts in a couple of weeks. We're going to have like big time international soccer games on all the time, all day long, from all over the place. Europe will be during the day, Copa at night. That's going to be cool. The Olympics are coming up actually pretty soon. Very soon. The Olympics are around the corner in Paris. The basketball is going to take center stage, at least for us. We're hardcore. Listen, I'm going to end up betting on things I know nothing about in the Olympics. Though I will say, I do bet the summer games, but I bet the Olympics more in the wintertime. I like betting on like the crazy ski events and, the snowboarding and whatever, the jumping and, just random winter events. But we do pretty well with the Olympics. We'll put some work in. And we'll come up with a couple of, random cycling and swimming picks and stuff as well. But the basketball tournament is going to be crazy. Just so many great players in the Paris games coming up. NBA Finals coming up. This is a very, very interesting matchup between two fun teams, fresh matchup. it really is going to come down. We can argue about role players, but, it really, sports often just comes down to, especially in the championships, your best players have to play well. Big players make big plays in big games, right? And this is like an ultimate matchup, man, with Luka and Kyrie against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And I like Jason Tatum, and I like Jaylen Brown. I got nothing against either one of them. As far as Boston teams go, the Celtics bother me like the least, actually. The Red Sox, I'm indifferent to the Red Sox, but I don't like the Patriots. I'm not a big Bruins guy. But I got no beef with the Celtics, And like I've said in the past, like, they're sort of like Duke, the Celtics, in that sometimes Duke have unlikable players, sometimes they don't. I don't find this Celtic team to be unlikable or anything like that. And in fact, I've said in the past that I think that Jason Tatum is too nice, that he needs more of a killer instinct, right? I remember in the finals, the last time he lost in the finals, he was talking about, he was getting criticized, and there were still a couple of games left. And he said, well, no matter what happens, my kid will always love me, and I have my family and stuff. And I was like, dude, that's not what you should be saying now. Like, we're only 4 games in here. Like, you've already almost conceded. And I remember I said at the time, they're done. And they were after, right? Like, I think he needs to toughen up. Jaylen, they need, shout out to everyone joining us right now on all of our AM radio affiliates. But the Celtics have had opportunities before. Can they close the deal this time? I'm not so sure they can. And in fact, I got to be honest, I trust Luka and Kyrie more than I trust Brown and Tatum. So I guess now we get to the rest of the team, right, and the supporting cast. But put it this way, and I don't think it's debatable, even though it's not a 2-on-2 game, but I don't think it's debatable. If it was 2-on-2, like, who are you taking? As good as Tatum and Brown are, who's the best player on the floor? Luka Doncic. And Kyrie Irving's a stud, right? And the thing is, Kyrie Irving, unlike everybody else, these people we're talking about, he's actually won a championship. We've seen Kyrie play big in big games, right? We've seen him drain big shots in big games. Hell, he won. His 3-point shot was what won the championship for them. So I get it. Boston's numbers are better. And you know what's crazy? The Boston Celtics have only been underdogs 3 times this year, which is tied for the least amount of times that a team in the NBA Finals have been an underdog. That's how dominant of a season and what kind of team that they've been this year. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks have been underdogs 42 times this year. The Mavericks 42 times as an underdog is the most of any team that's ever made the NBA Finals. No team's made the NBA Finals was an underdog 42 times in the season before, like the Dallas Mavericks, which shows me, and you can almost argue, that the Mavericks have been able to punch above their body weight and have dealt with adversity. Like we said, you look at the Boston Celtics and the path. I don't hold it against them. They earned the 1 seed. And I've told you a million times, they still would have beaten the Miami Heat if Jimmy Butler played. Donovan Mitchell being out for a game or two didn't matter. The Cleveland Cavaliers were so bad they fired their coach after. They knew they were going to fire their coach, right? The Pacers, they would have beaten the Pacers even if Halliburton didn't get hurt. I think the Pacers probably would have won at least one of those 2 games in Indianapolis, but the Celtics would have won in 5 after. I don't hold it against them, but I'm also, at the same time, I don't hold it against them. I also say, you know what? The Dallas Mavericks are a hell of a lot better than anybody you played so far. And to me, the Celtics are sort of front runners. They're kind of like Gonzaga. They beat up on inferior opponents. And then when they deal with someone that's as good as them, they have problems. And I'm expecting the Dallas Mavericks to give the Boston Celtics all kinds of problems. Our boy Mo Khan's going to step up, and then we'll get his thoughts on the NBA Finals, his thoughts on the Caitlin Clark situation. It's a dynamic one, to say the least. The jealousy, the pettiness is out of control. It really wasn't basketball. But what I think is lost in this is the reaction of the Indiana Fever teammates, which was nothing. Aaliyah Boston needs to figure it out. is Caitlin Clark your girl or not, right? And if she isn't, then you're going to be the one that's going to have to go. Because I got to be honest, the night Caitlin Clark got drafted, I sensed Boston was a little off and stuff with her from the first moment. And you can't just stand there and watch that happen and have no reaction. Would you like that if somebody smoked you, Aaliyah, and Caitlin and everyone just stood there and watched it happen and didn't care about it after? I'll also tell you right now, the Indiana Fever coach needs to go as well. She's in over her head. She can't handle this national pressure. She's never adjusting anything. It's one of these deals where it's just not working, right? She's not going to be the one moving forward. The fact that she didn't send somebody out after to do something after the fact, and we'd be naive to say it's not partially racial. Like, put it this way. I don't think Juju Watkins comes into the WNBA next year and people are trying to, like, pile drive her or anything like that, right? But you could also argue, look, people aren't trying to murder Cameron Brink. So there's different dynamics to it, right? But, you know, the league can't protect Caitlin Clark. It's up to her team to protect Caitlin Clark. But with all that being stated, and we talked about this on Saturday when it went down, we were talking about this on Twitter. Dude, Michael Jordan's the greatest ever. Michael Jordan used to get punched in the stomach, punched in the face. Like, he was physically abused for years. And you know what the Chicago Bulls did? Signed Dennis Rodman. That's what they did. They signed the guy that was punching them. This is SportsRage.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. Took a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. Shout out to everyone joining us on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. SoCal in the house. Let's do this thing. It's been an explosive weekend. Mo Khan will join us in a couple of moments. He's just getting set up right now. So we'll get into the NBA Finals, but obviously this Caitlin Clark stuff is taking center stage. And it's not the end of the world. So she got shoved. It is what it is. It's basketball to a certain extent. But it's basketball if there was some, like, long-standing rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like, if like the Nuggets and Lakers play each other all the time. And, if there's bad blood between players, like Draymond Green and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's like a history between two teams, and fine, that stuff will happen, right? Teams will start pushing each other around a bit. But, like, there's no, you know what I mean? This girl's never met Caitlin Clark before. What do you hate her so much for? Like, what's your deal? But so this girl's trying to get famous off of hating on Caitlin Clark. It was just classless. The way, more so, not like even the shove, just everybody after the fact. Like Angel Reese jumping up like after it happened. Like, really? Aren't you the same girl, Angel, that was crying after LSU lost that the world is mean to you and people, you're just a girl. I want to be a basketball player and the world is mean to me and people objectify me and people call me names. And then, but when you win, you act like Ric Flair, right? When you lose, you act like Ronda Rousey, right? Like there's a little bit of a pattern here with you, Angel, okay? And Angel, like, what her obsession with Caitlin is, I don't know what your deal is. You supposedly made all this money at LSU. Like I said, I didn't see Caitlin Clark at the Met Gala next to Kim Kardashian. I saw you, though, Angel Reese, right? It's not like Angel Reese isn't getting any attention, so I don't know what her big beef is. And Angel Reese, too, she's just so unlikable. I've tried to like her and, like, see her side of things at times, but overall, you just see who she is. When she jumped up, and then after, like, again, she says, people aren't just watching the WNBA for Caitlin. They're watching because of me, too. It's like, Angel, are you aware, like, the Las Vegas Aces, right, have been selling out their arena for the last couple of years while you were still in high school? Like, you know what I mean? There's, like, women in the WNBA. Like, this whole thing that no one ever watched the WNBA for isn't true. All right? The ratings have been growing for years. Yes, it's much bigger now. But to act like, these kids that come in now, man, they need Angel Reese needs a reality check. Like seriously, who has a bigger attitude problem, Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese? Let's just be real. Like, you want to talk about cocky rookies and all this type of stuff? Like, it's out of control. I thought Aaliyah Boston's reaction was pathetic. She's standing right there. She's like the biggest girl on the team. She does nothing. Just like stands there and barely helps Caitlin up after. Weak-ass response from the Fever, who would be flying on air, Spirit and Southwest Airlines right now, waiting in a line at, in Dallas-Fort Worth in a freaking airport right now. But, it is what it is. I warned people. I told people this is going to happen. I remember when Caitlin Clark went in college, I said, this is the last night of your innocence because they're going to steal it from you. Like, imagine what Caitlin Clark really thinks. She realizes half her team doesn't care and watches her get beat up. She knows this league hates me for whatever reason. Right? She's going to get it going, though, right? She's already scored 17 points a game. And the Fever are so bad, they're going to get another really good player in the draft. So the Fever are a couple of years away. The girl on the Chicago Sky got kicked off the Atlanta team a couple of years ago for fighting and threatening her own teammates. She got kicked off the LA Sparks for conduct detrimental to the team. I mean, there's a pattern here, right? And Witherspoon after and stuff, they can say what they want. It's a little late, all right? You guys acted all tough and played the fool after the game and stuff. You guys all thugged out and thought it was funny. And the league and the commissioner flipped out and had something to say about it. And now suddenly this is not who we are. Yeah, it was. That's who you were for 48 hours. You didn't have a problem with it then, did you? Right? You didn't have a problem with it. Long story short, I don't like agreeing with Draymond Green, but the Indiana Fever need an enforcer, like point blank. Like I said, sign Cyborg Santos. Sign like some MMA fighter. Put her on the bench. Bench players never play anyways. Put her on the bench. And if next time somebody touches Caitlin Clark, you break their arm. Very simple. You send out Jessica I or Cyborg or someone, and you just tell them, just take her down and snap her arm off next time someone touches Caitlin. Like that. Like Caitlin was talking smack to the girl, but that's basketball. The girl can talk smack back. You don't blindside her like that after the fact. It was pretty classless. Like I said, the whole thing just reeked of classlessness, right? The cheap shot, the Indiana Fever not doing anything about it and helping Caitlin Clark out after. the Angel Reese celebrating it. Angel Reese talking about people come to see me. This is why the ratings are up in the WNBA. It's like, dear God, man, you've been in the league for like 3 weeks and you're already like, But, hey, it is what it is. And on the plus side, it goes show the growth of women's sports, too. Listen, women are mean, right? No one can be meaner to the, hell have no score like a woman, right? That whole thing. Like, women on women, like, cruelty is real. Look at the movie Mean Girls. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's the thing. The WNBA has pushed this a bit as well, right? If you look at some of their promotional material, they show a lot of the physical stuff because they want to like sell it that, hey, this isn't like what you think women's basketball is. But I'm sure now they're going to want to chill out a little bit. But ultimately, let's be real. Once again, the woman steals center stage. And it's good for the game. Caitlin Clark's got to be the face of it, and she's got to eat it, but she's making a lot of money, so she, whatever, she can deal with this. But remember, like, the NCAA women's tournament was far more popular than the men's tournament was. People were always talking about the women's tournament. People, like, were betting on it. The ratings were higher for the championship game. People talked about the men, but not like the women. The women's game sort of, like, stole the show over the men's tournament. And look, we have the NBA Finals coming up in a couple of days, and all day, man, people talking about the WNBA. Nothing about the NBA Finals. We'll get into the NBA Finals, but not very much about the NBA Finals. It's all about the WNBA.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pitch, the players, the hustlers, the people, the busters, but everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. We're still trying to figure things out with our boy Mo Khan. Mo's a very consistent guest. Been on Sunday and Monday nights in the past. We're not on Sundays anymore, but he's been on for years. Very smooth. Like his attendance record. This guy's come on from like hospitals and hotels and you name it. But for whatever reason, we're having an audio issue. with him. But our crew is working on it. I've got faith in everybody, and it's better to be positive than to freak out. So the way they said, Frankie just asked me at the break. He says, "Listen, you want me to book a guest and get somebody on here?" I said, "No, I have faith in you guys. We'll figure out the audio stuff." It's not us, actually. There's something going on with Mo. Mo's got an issue right now, but our boy Pat Foster's dealing with it. So, a lot of stuff still I want to get to. Like I said, it's a crazy weekend. Both finals are set. Stanley Cup finals are set. For those of you just joining, I'll share my thoughts on the Stanley Cup finals. But I want to get to San Diego. And every time, you know what? I've always said that San Diego and Toronto are very similar, like their teams. They both have like star young players and big-time talent and stuff, but they're not as good as they should be. And every time they sort of start to go in the right direction, something happens. You know what I mean? Like, San Diego, they're getting good pitching and, things start to come together a bit. They win a couple of baseball games. Like, well, you Darvish, Joe Musgrove. No, they're hurt. It's always something, right? And, before Tatis, it's like every couple of months, there's something that happens to this team, or not even months. Like they get hurt. Like they have bad luck, this team. But I don't know if they create their own, like just whatever it is. The aura around them is weird. But now we have another betting situation here. So Tucupita Marcano facing a potential lifetime ban for placing bets on baseball, under investigation for betting on games involving the Pittsburgh Pirates last season while he was a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. As the Wall Street Journal are the ones that broke this story. Jared Diamond and Lindsay Adler of the Wall Street Journal. Marcano was on the injured list at the time of his betting, though. So he wasn't playing, but he was betting on games. And I'm assuming since he was on the Pirates, he probably bet against the Pirates. If he's facing a lifetime ban, I'm assuming that's what it was, that he probably bet against the Pirates even though he didn't play. In my own personal opinion, no punishment has been determined yet, but a lifetime ban is being discussed and is being discussed right now between the MLB head office and the Major League Baseball Players Association. The Wall Street Journal also reports that there are 4 other players that are being investigated for potentially betting on baseball games. Although, even if they're in the major leagues right now, they bet on these baseball games last year while they were minor leaguers. Listen, I've defended betting a lot. I don't like these bad stories because it sheds a negative light on an industry that I've been a part of and that we talk about. You know what I mean? So I don't like corruption. But the late, great Dave Malinsky, may he rest in peace, very smart guy. And he, listen, Dave was knew everything inside out about the sports business from all angles and stuff. And I remember once there was a minor scandal and some kids, I don't know, it was Arizona State. I think it was the Arizona State basketball years ago. And he said, he had a great point. He said, Gabriel, remember the way he talked, Gabriel? He even had the exact number. He goes, there was 187,000 games played last year. And he said, we named all the sports. And he said there were 5 gambling scandals. He goes, it's such a minuscule percentage. But you'll notice, though, the media flipped out when it was Ohtani's interpreter. But nobody cares about Marcano, right? But baseball does. But I can't defend players that do this in the sense of you're allowed to bet on other sports, man. So if you're a Major League Baseball player and you like to bet on sports, nothing's stopping you from betting on the NBA Finals. You can legally do that. Nothing's stopping you from betting on horse racing, Formula One. You can bet on a million sports. But listen, if I bet on baseball, I'm going to get banned for life, and I won't have any money to bet anymore. So I better not do this, right? I don't understand the logic behind it. Basically, even these football players. If you want to bet on football, store your knowledge and bet on football when you retire.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, the Pittsburgh players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. We've got a problem with our boy Mo. Houston, we have a problem. Houston Astros didn't have a problem. They came back and won tonight. But we've got a problem connecting with our boy Mo Khan. Hopefully, maybe we can get something worked out. But if not, it's all good. It is what it is. We're just talking about Marcano potentially facing a lifetime ban, and there's no excuse for it. Like, it's stupidity. You know what I mean? Like Calvin Ridley betting, $50 parlay or something like that. It's like, dude, you cost yourself half the year or whatever it was, right? Or is he spending the year? You know what I mean? Some of these dudes. And I will say, I do think the NFL rules are dumb, right? About I think the NFL goes too far with their betting rules. And I don't think players should be betting on football, although I've made the argument before, what's the difference if they're betting on themselves to win, right? Fighters bet on themselves to win, but that's an individual sport, right? So that's the difference. Like, if you're a boxer, you're allowed to bet on yourself. You could walk into a sports book and, you know what I mean? Is it unethical? So, some whatever, but right? You see it all the time with boxers. I'll bet you the payday. I'll do this and that, right? As long as you're not betting against yourself, not a problem. And, I remember like the XFL did it before. Not now with the UFL, but the XFL had a big winning bonus for their players by XFL standards. I think it was like $5,000 a game. I think it was you got an extra $5K if you won the game. And it does. Like, players play for money, right? Like, put it this way. Like, what do you care if a player, what do you care? Let's say you're a Michigan fan and J.J. McCarthy bet on Michigan to beat Alabama. He's like, oh, I know we're going to win. And he bet on it. He didn't fix the game. He didn't rig the game. He's trying to win. But I get it, and it shouldn't happen because it's a slippery slope, right? You don't want to get into the dynamics of it. Because there was the kid on LSU, which was really funny, actually. Remember, there was a dude on LSU last year, and he was betting on himself. So he bet on himself to score a touchdown, and he bet on himself to get like over 4.5 catches type thing in a game. And people found out about it after, and, the internet never loses. And people found like videos of him flipping out on the sidelines. And it was the day that he bet on himself. And LSU were winning too. So like LSU were winning kind of easily. And there was a video of the kid getting in Jaden Daniels' face on the sideline, telling him, "You got to get me the ball more. Get me the ball. I'm open." And so, you know what I mean? You think, prima donna wide receiver. No. The kid had like $1,400 on his total reception prop. And he's telling Jaden Daniels, dude, just throw me the damn ball a couple of times, man. I got money on this, right? And it was funny because Jaden Daniels, you can see him like telling him, chill out, man. Like, and he sort of pointed to the scoreboard, like, dude, we're winning. What do you want from me? Right? So that's why you don't want players betting on their individual props and stuff. But I don't know. Like I said, from an ethical standpoint, I don't care if people bet on their team to win, right? If these kids think they're going to win and they're going to make more money. But if you're a professional athlete, it's just dumb, though, right? Because you're allowed to bet on every other damn sport. So there's no reason to bet on your sport. And the other thing is, like, you always see how much money they actually bet and stuff, and it's never anything big. So that's what's even stupider. It's like, all right, dude. And the thing is, this Marcano guy, the guy's like a 217 hitter, okay? So it's not like he's some star player or anything like that, but you're in the big leagues. You make money. You're a big league player. So would you rather bet like a $200 parlay against the Pittsburgh Pirates because you're on the Pirates and they suck, right? Or would you rather stay in the big leagues? Right? Yasiel Puig, man. Yasiel Puig's playing in the Mexican League right now, right? Yasiel Puig wasn't the most popular dude and stuff in clubhouses, but one of his problems was he was betting on baseball, right? With the same guy Ohtani's manager was betting with. But Puig was betting, right? Did he bet on baseball or did he bet on sports, whatever? I'm not going to say for sure he bet on baseball, but I know, like, Major League Baseball were like, yeah, this dude, he's a bettor and stuff, right? So, like, that's why it was more than just his attitude towards people. I used to defend Yasiel Puig a lot, but people, like, really don't like him on every team he's on. Our boy Mo Khan is ready to step up and in right now. Better late than never. Good to see you, Mo. How you doing tonight?
Better than late than ever, Gabe. Weird day. I had some cavity fill-ins today, and whatever reason, my laptop's not working. So here I am, Gabe. We're full flash ready to roll, my friend. Yeah.
So dentist and computer problems.
Yeah,
man. Life can be cold. But thanks for joining us. So
Appreciate
a lot of stuff.
Gabe.
I'm just going over the betting. I'm not going to call it a scandal. It's only a scandal if it's a big name. That's why people overreacted about Ohtani's interpreter. But let's get your take on the Caitlin Clark situation. If you remember when we talked about the season before it started, I said there's no way in hell this team wins 22 games. And you look at the optimism that people had in a 40-game season. They might not get to 8 games, okay, Mo? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's good for them, right? And I think it's better. Like, if you're the Indiana Fever, you're better off just being terrible and getting another really high pick, potentially the top pick. I know the Mystics are bad too. But you got some really good players in the draft once again, bro. But they're going to have to figure something out with Caitlin Clark in the sense of we can blame Chicago all we want for it, but the Indiana Fever's response was totally weak, Mo, in my opinion. What's your take on Caitlin Gate?
Well, okay, look, here's the thing, right? Caitlin Clark talks a lot of trash on the court. I mean, it's evident. We see it at Iowa, and now we see it in WNBA. She's like a back down game, right? She's going to defend her name and who she is as a basketball player. And there's no question, her mania that she's brought to the WNBA has made the league much more intriguing to watch. She's helped increase the coffers of players across the board for teams across the board. She's a moneymaker right now for the WNBA. Now, if you're the Indiana Fever, okay, like I'm not asking Bill Laimbeer to come out there. I'm not asking for Charles Oakley to be out there, but defend the crown jewel that you have amongst the jewels that you have right now. And they have not done that at all, Gabe. And it's disappointing to see that. And quite frankly, for Caitlin Clark right now, she's got to defend herself without any help. And if you're Leah Boston, you said it before, Gabe, at the top of the hour, where are you to defend your teammate? the one you're going to war with from May till maybe mid-October to win a WNBA title. If you're not going to do that for your teammate, why the bleep are you still on this roster? So if you're the Indiana Fever, you got to figure out a better plan long-term to surround her with players that are going to be there for her and also help produce when she can't have an epic game like she's done once or twice this year in the WNBA.
And that's the thing moving forward. You know, we know this team is going to be an evolution. She's a rookie. It's going to take a couple of years from the Fever as a whole to build. But if you're Caitlin Clark, listen, you know you're the target. You're going to deal with it. Like you said, she's no angel. She talks smack as well. So I totally get that part. But it has to be disheartening for her if she starts to question whether her teammates have her back or not, or whether half her teammates actually feel the same way. Right? Like she's got to think. So if they weren't on the team, would they really not like me as well? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like she's got to, listen, man, I said she's going to lose her innocence coming into this thing, but she's also making $28 million from Nike. So she's getting rewarded for it moving forward. But as you stated, I said the same thing, Mo. It's actually great for the league though, isn't it? It's tough on Caitlin personally. She's going to have to toughen up and deal with all this type stuff. But, and like people said, nothing Jordan didn't go through. Jordan used to get punched, like slapped, like punched in the stomach, in the gut, punch in the face when he go in the paint. So she's not the first star to deal with this. But this stuff sells. It's like people talking about hockey fighting. I mean, people like fighting. NASCAR. People like confrontation. It makes people want to tune in and see what's going to happen next.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. Took a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Quickest 180 minutes in sports talk and television. Radio continues. Our boy Mo Khan joining us right now. A lot of stuff to get to. I want to get Mo's take on both finals coming up. But I want to get to some football as well. Let's start off with our condolences, actually, to the family of Hall of Famer Larry Allen, to the Cowboy family, but specifically his family. Obviously a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest offensive linemen ever to play the game. and a real force on the field. Like, this guy was like, not only massive, Mo, but remember, man, like just running down the field and stuff. He'd be like 20 yards upfield from the line of scrimmage, man. I know as a Buffalo Bill fan, man, this guy was a badass. Like, he was part of those teams that beat us in the Super Bowl.
He definitely was. And the thing is with Larry Allen, Gabe, when you look at that O-line, you had Eric Williams, Signosky, you had him. It went through him, essentially, right? Emmitt Smith can say to Larry Allen, the late Larry Allen, that, hey, you're the reason why I'm in the Hall of Fame. You're the reason why I had over 100 rushing touchdowns during my time as a Dallas Cowboy. And the one thing you have to look at from his perspective, if you read from all the reports from today, he's one of the nicest human beings that ever lived, but played with an edge that can never be supplanted. And I think for Larry Allen, for what he did for the Cowboys, he may not be Troy Aikman, he may not be Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, or Emmitt Smith, but he's definitely in that next wave of Cowboy dominant players that they had. And quite frankly, he was one of the best that I've seen growing up as a kid, even to my adult years, of who he was as a football player.
Yeah, no, he was one of the best ever. Like, 11-time Pro Bowler, guys. Think about that. Like, the respect of his peers 11 times to go to the Pro Bowl. But, yeah, listen, Emmitt Smith, it's funny because Emmitt Smith broke the record. And no disrespect to Emmitt Smith, but nobody ever really thinks of Emmitt Smith as the greatest back ever. He's never in the conversations. You know what I mean?
No.
Barry from the Barry Sanders, Jim Brown. You know what I mean? Walter Payton's. Yeah. Like we go on. People don't bring up Emmitt Smith, and I think partially it's because that offensive line was just so damn good.
It really was, and this is the whole scheme. Because again, think about it this way, right? 35 years ago, it was pretty much 65-35 run to pass. Now, in today's NFL, it's the inverse. It's 65 pass, 35% run. So the era that Emmitt played in enabled him to have that many touches because, again, Gabe, how many 300-carry RBs do you see in today's NFL? Not many. Look at the stats from 1990 to 94. You had a plethora of players who had 300-plus carries per season. That was considered to be normal, but now would be a unicorn production value that you would have in today's NFL.
And you know what's unique, too? We just said how big he was. At the time, he seemed really big. 6'3", 325. Now, that's common. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like at the time, the Cowboys had they were bigger than everyone. Right? I mean, people younger people, you don't realize how football's evolved with this stuff. Used to be a big deal. Like, they got couple of 300-pounders on their line. Then it became, it got stupid and carried away where they were like, all right, everyone's got to be 357. And it got a little bit too unathletic and they dialed it back a bit now. But offensive linemen now, guys, they're massive in the NFL. 6'5", 260s and you know what I mean? Massive men. The size has just changed, but their line was just so dominant. So from yesteryear, and may he rest in peace, to modern year, Justin Jefferson cashes in. Not a surprise. They had to pay him. I never bought in that they were going to trade him or anything like that. He got $110 million guaranteed. That's what it's always about. So he got $110 million guaranteed from them, $140 million 4-year deal. And I think it's justifiable. You can't dispute that this guy doesn't deserve the money. He's their best player.
No question. There's no doubt in my mind he's one of the best out there. And you think about that draft class, Gabe, right? Henry Ruggs went before him. Was it Jalen Reagor went before him from the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, this is a guy that got overlooked. And I thought going to that draft class, he was the best receiver with CeeDee Lamb. And look, we're going to see this now, Gabe, for the rest of the summer months, however long this goes. CeeDee Lamb will set the new number now for salaries for pass catchers. Right?
I don't think he's as good as Jefferson, personally.
No, he's not. But,
I don't. I know he's going to get paid. That's the way this league works. It's like any quarterback gets paid, the next guy gets more. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
What about Ayuk? Ayuk's not as good as Jefferson, bro. Let's just be real. He's not.
But what's fascinating about this contract for Jefferson, though, he's 24 years old, Gabe, signed a 4-year deal. So, knock on wood, he stays injury-free.
He can cash in again later, you're right.
He will cash in. And the reason why, Gabe, he's projected, because remember, the NFL can opt out of the TV contracts in 3 years' time from now, or 4 years from now. So he's valuing the fact that, hey, once the NFL opts out of their TV deals, he can make even more money with the salary cap going up by who knows how much by the time he's a free agent in 4 years from now. So this is a great business move from him and strategy approach for all playmakers like Justin Jefferson to take going towards the next few years.
He got paid. I want to get to the finals, but his numbers are going to take a hit, right? You know me. I'm as big of a J.J. McCarthy guy as anybody, but let's be real. J.J. McCarthy's not Kirk Cousins. And say what you will about Kirk Cousins, and people are negative about him, Mo. Kirk Cousins also been in the top 5 in touchdown passes every year he's been on the field the last few years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, people don't want to, like, you look at his stats. Like, that's the thing with Kirk. I think he's a stat guy more than sort of a champion guy. I think he is a good stat guy. But JJ is, you know what I mean? They're going to run the ball. There's going to be more play action, more quick hits and stuff like that. JJ is not a deep down the field, like, I'm going to drop back and start. You know what? He can. You know, I'm not saying he can't, but you know what I'm saying. Like, Jefferson's numbers are going to take a little bit of a hit, but he got paid.
No, he did. But the thing is, that Viking offense for J.J. McCarthy, we spoke about it before after he got drafted, is a great line spot for J.J. because now he's got pass catchers. He's got a pretty good O-line to work with. And I think for the Vikings, I'm not saying they're going 11, 12 games, but they'll be a tougher route than before in that very tough NFC North going towards week 1.
Yeah, their win total is 6.5. I think it's too late. I think people are disrespecting the Vikings too much.
I agree.
9 wins, probably a 9-8 team, maybe 10. Yeah,
they can get 10.
Yeah. You know what my concern is, and we'll hit the finals on the other side, is they did lose a lot on defense. They're starting over on defense quite a bit. Offense is fine.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. Took a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Can't wait for football. We've got NFL football. The UFL playoffs are this weekend, which is going to be cool. CFL kicks off on Thursday night. So does the NBA Finals. We got to go rapid fire now. Mo Khan in the house with us. So, Mo, NBA Finals set to tip off Thursday night as well. The Boston Celtics have done everything possible, man, in the last 7-8 years, except win. Very similar to a lot of teams, the Edmonton Oilers, the Buffalo Bills, whatever, you know what I mean? Teams that have been knocking on the door. And But the Celtics have been further. I mean, hell, they've been in the conference finals, 5 times in the last 7 years. Back to the finals again here. Do they pull it off? Does Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown join the legends of the Boston Celtics with a championship?
Yeah, they do. They win in 6. What it'll come down to is 3-point shooting. How the Mavericks defend that? I think also is the interior presence for the Mavericks, right? What's going to happen with their bigs? Because, again, they've been banged up, Gabe, right? They went through the meat grinder with Minnesota and, of course, before that with OKC. So I think Boston wins this. They've had an easier road, kind of similar to the Edmonton Oilers, right, with their road to the Cup final as well. So give me the Celtics to win in 6 over the Mavericks.
All right, so Mo says Celtics in 6. I disagree, but we want to get everybody's opinions and takes. Stanley Cup Finals, Mo. Well, just for people tuning in.
For sure.
No,
absolutely.
I have my pick later. But I'm leaning Dallas. But Stanley Cup Finals, who do you like, Florida or Edmonton?
Florida. I heard you and George and Cam talk about it in hour number 2. Look, this is my situation right now. The West was definitely the best of the 2 conferences right now. But this Florida Panthers team reminds me of the New Jersey Devils from 1995, right? The so-called underdogs playing the Detroit Red Wings back then. The same situation right now. They're going to punch them in the mouth, Gabe. They're going to win this in 6 games. But I do agree with George that it could go 7. But I think Florida has better manpower to work with and more depth, and they're a lot healthier compared to where Dallas was at this point in the playoff season. So give me the Panthers to win in 6 games.
It's cliche to say, but it is true. The officiating is going to be a big part of this. If the league lets Florida, you know what I mean, sort of play the way they want to and rough it up a little bit, then I think it could be an advantage Florida. But if the referees call penalties, which they're hesitant to do in the Stanley Cup Finals, but they still do. Let's not pretend they don't. So, and the Florida Panthers average 12 minutes of penalty minutes per game in the postseason. I think the special teams, I think they'll pay. I think the Oilers' special teams is better than the Panthers. I think the Oilers are faster than the Panthers. And I don't think the Panthers, I know the Panthers like to bully teams. I don't think they're going to be able to push around the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers have some size. But so Mo says both in 6. So you like Boston in 6 and the Florida Panthers in 6.
I do. But here's one thing. Matthew Tkachuk, remember, his career ended against the Oilers in the playoffs 2 years ago. So he's got a chip on his shoulder to kind of prove a point to the Oilers. Hey, listen, you got me out of Calgary. Well, I'm going to win that ring over you guys in 6 games.
Yeah, they meet again, so to speak. No love lost. Yeah. That's true. That's going to be an unbelievable. Corey Perry finds himself in another Stanley Cup final. Every year. Man. Whatever team, people, Corey Perry signs with in the NHL, just bet him to go to the Cup, Mo. Every year. I think it's 5 years in a row now. Yeah, and he loses all the time.
Yeah, the last 4 he's lost. Right, he won to Anaheim in 07, but he lost to Montreal, Tampa, the Stars, and now maybe the Oilers.
Yeah, it's crazy. Corey Perry in the Cup Finals. All right, we got about a minute and a half here. CFL football kicks off Thursday night as well. I think 3 to 4 games actually this week are on the CBS Sports Network as well. Let's go rapid fire here. Montreal Alouettes are getting 6.5 points against Winnipeg. Who do you like?
Bombers. I think the Bombers have a little bit of a depth to work with compared to Montreal. Montreal's going to be good. They'll win 12 games this year in Montreal and be the favorites to win the East, but I think the Bombers win the home opener, though.
Hamilton Tiger Cats. You think they're going to cover too? Ticats and the Stampeders are basically a pick-em. Hamilton are 1-point road favorites.
This is ugly. It's give me the Stampeders, Gabe. I just can't see the Ticats doing anything with the ball this year. The offense is very questionable, as is Calgary's.
The under's probably the play here. It could be an ugly game.
Yeah,
47 is a total.
Yeah.
Rough Riders and Elks. Big day in Edmonton.
Look, give me the Sask. They've really improved their infrastructure on the field, off of it. I think Edmonton still has a lot of question marks. It'll go over for sure, but I think the Rough Riders will be the team to watch out for.
I agree with you.
The West. Yeah.
There's going to be points. I think there's 46 out. I think there'll be points in that game. All right, we got about 10 seconds here. BC Lions are laying 5.5 in Toronto.
Give me the Argos. But I think the Lions will be a team to watch out for because of what they built up. They have a chip on the shoulder, Gabe. They want to be in that Grey Cup in November.
I think BC wins this game. I think they cover, but I'm not in love with laying this many points. Shout out to our crew. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.